Welcome to episode 7 of the Poms One Pod football podcast, featuring myself, Colin Brennan, and Michael McDowell. Okay, cool. So, game week 11. Obviously, we missed a few game weeks, but we're just going to talk about the last one.
Yeah.
We'll talk towards the end of the podcast, like usual. We'll talk about a couple of things, what's going on, if there is anything. Okay, so should we just we'll go over some of the results of the past week and just see what we think? And obviously, I think we can already tell, like from our talking about like the league and like this season in all this. Actually, I think it's a really. I know we say this lots, but sometimes we don't. But I think we've been blessed with quite a lot of good league seasons over the past few years. But I think it's so far really great start to the league. Don't get me wrong, loads of teams are falling apart at certain times. Loads of teams are playing really well. But I think there's a really awesome like dynamic thing going on in the Premier League. The only team that really kind of fucks that up is Manchester City, who have just been obliterating everyone. Yeah. They're almost perfect. Those guys are basically perfect at the moment. You guys Tottenham are pretty close, but you know there's a couple of draws and losses, which is fine. That's normal. Yeah. But Man City are like taking it to the next level. If we ignore them, I think the rest of the league has got really good dynamic. I could really see teams like, I don't know, like if they pick it up, like I could see teams like Watford making it into a top, like making it past Liverpool, making it into the top 4, making it past Arsenal. I think and this is not because those teams are playing shit, except for Arsenal. I think just the league itself, I don't know, I get a sense of dynamic change in it. It's and as a viewer and as someone that follows it and reads about it, I love it. It's great. Obviously, the whole thing, like even happening with Chelsea, like we've got a deep problem, like we can talk about later, like an underlying problem, but you know, we're still really great team, great individuals, but there's problems there. And I think you can say similar things about lots of the other teams. There's great things, but then there's a small something going on. And I think it's causing a cool, dynamic is the only word I can really think.
I think it's, I don't know, this season, it's a bit more interesting. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, some teams haven't been very consistent. Yeah. So United obviously started really well, and they've lost some consistency. I think defensively as well, like some teams, I don't know, like if you're looking at really good teams, like Liverpool's defence is shit.
Amazing attack.
But Arsenal's defence is really
but Liverpool's probably got one of the worst 3 defences in the league.
Yeah.
Like Lovren is literally, I think he should be like in Championship, like relegation.
Yeah, it's not.
He's gotten worse every year at Liverpool. I don't understand that.
I don't know.
Maybe he's got an injury. Maybe there's something underlying. Maybe it's mental. Like maybe it's something. Maybe he just maybe something happened in his life. But he got significantly worse. He was a good defender at Southampton.
He was, but
it was a good signing
for some people. For some, it's like kind of right place, right time. But
yeah, of course, yeah.
In terms of defensively, though, if you look at it, because after this week, Brighton are top half of the table. Yeah. They won 1-0.
Yeah.
And you got teams like Burnley and Brighton and few other kind of...
Well, you've got team like
lesser
Brighton,
teams, but they're winning these games by 1-0.
Yeah.
Newcastle the other week.
And they're grinding it out.
They won 1-0.
Well, we're 11 games in. We're a quarter of the way through the season. Watford is 9th. Brighton is 8th. Burnley is 7th. Right? This is what we're talking about here. Like, it's a good... And Huddersfield, 10th. Newcastle United, 11th. But these teams are playing really well.
But that's the thing. It's because they're focused on their defence. It's like teams like...
I think the Championship forces Everton. You to do that.
Yeah, it does. But
the Premier League allows more open kind of football.
Well, it's because it's easier... If you're a team like Burnley, and you're Sean Dyche or whatever, it's easier probably to get your team to be difficult to beat and be solid defensively than it is to get them to play free-flowing attacking football that's going to result in 3 or 4 goals every game.
Yeah.
That isn't going to happen. With the kind of players you have at your disposal, you either have players that are capable of that or you don't. Yeah. So you look at Liverpool, that obviously they're capable. I mean, they did it. They beat West Ham 4-1. Yeah. And so they're capable of scoring all these goals, but their biggest problem obviously is that they don't really know how to fucking defend. They're not a difficult team to play against.
Yeah.
Their tactic is basically to score more goals than they concede.
Oh yeah, honestly,
look at back when we played them. Yeah. We beat them 4. That was 4-1 actually. We beat them. And they
if you go at them, they fall apart. They can't attack you if their defence is
we could have had a couple more goals that game easy. And they were fortunate. It was a fucking Kane slipped up and gave away possession. and Salah's Salah whatever.
Yeah, so
his like scuff shot.
Yeah.
Take nothing away his movement, and he finished it. But it was a scuff shot, and it went in, kind of just off the spin of the ball. Do you know what I mean? Like, so they were a little bit lucky just to even have gotten a goal. But I think just this season,
I don't know. I don't think they were lucky. They got a goal. You guys obviously deserve to win by loads. Like, I wouldn't take their only goal away from them.
No, but what I'm saying is like, they're relying on something. They're relying more than just like their hard work, because they don't really have that in terms of defensive.
They're just not great, but
like I say, lots of other teams at the top half of the table, or teams that you would expect to be up there. Defensively, it just seems it'd be interesting to see the amount of goals that all of the teams have conceded this season.
Yeah,
because I think. Fucking City seem to be scoring against everyone, though. Yeah. That's like the one constant, is that they will get at least 3 goals a game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we can look at, obviously, like the top goal scorers of the season so far, where in like, what was it, in like the top 6 or 7 or whatever, so fucking Sterling, Aguero.
Well, a load of them are
and Jesus are all in.
It goes Aguero and Kane with 8.
Yeah.
It goes to Morata, Lukaku, Sterling, Salah and Jesus all with 7. The reason basically Aguero is first because he's got more assists. Kane's only got 1 assist.
Yeah.
Morata's third place instead of all the others, like Lukaku and Sterling, because he's got 3 assists, and so have some of the others. But I think they basically figure it out. He's played less time than the others and scored those goals, so he therefore goes ahead, because none of them have more assists than him. They're all equal on. Well, okay, Lukaku is the only one that's equal to Morata with 7 goals and 3 assists, but Lukaku's played 1,000 minutes, and Morata's played 700.
Yeah,
and Morata scored the same amount.
That's mental, actually.
Yeah, like same as Aguero. He's played 600 minutes. He's got 8 goals, so it's even less than Morata. Kane has played 900 minutes. So he's played about 100 more than Morata. 200 more than the others, and 200 less than 200 more than Aguero. Pardon me. But he's on 8. So Kane's played lots, and he's basically scores a goal every 110 minutes, whereas Aguero scores a goal. Pardon me, every 75 minutes, and Morata is every 100 minutes. Lukaku every 140 minutes.
That's that first month that fucked over.
Yeah, Sterling's pretty interesting. He's the only one that's even close to Aguero, along with Jesus. Jesus scores a goal every 86 minutes, which is literally 10 minutes more than Aguero, and Sterling is 83 minutes, which is only 7 minutes more than Aguero. Meaning that these two other players, Sterling and Jesus, haven't played that much, nowhere near the amount that Harry Kane and Morata and Lukaku have played, and they've got basically the same amount of goals and assists.
Yeah, but that shows, because that's the thing with. There's been a question, I suppose, and we were talking about it earlier, like with City, and how they started the season
kind of
all right.
Yeah,
they weren't amazing, but they started okay. Like
took them 5 games.
They kind of picked up from where they left off last season. I think they were kind of
shambling.
All right, just finding their feet a bit.
Yeah,
but, they're okay. And then, but now they've just
then Pep
they've just. It looks like it's just everything is just clicked.
Yeah, man. Like honestly, I thought
De Bruyne is like
unbelievable.
If he has a good game, then they will win.
Honestly, I think them signing Jesus is the most incredible thing, because Aguero gets injured, and guess what? Jesus was able to come in every single time, even now just as a sub randomly, and he scores. Like the statistics show he hardly fucking plays, and he scores. His goals come every 88 minutes. For someone that's that new, that I can't that is miles better than Kane, better Morata, like double, even more than that than compared to Lukaku. The only people, even Salah is 122 minutes per goal. So the fact that Jesus is able to come on, hardly play, but when he does play, he gets a goal. Yeah. And bear in mind, he comes on as a sub, or he comes on when Aguero is injured.
Started a few games.
He has, but that was when Aguero was out. I think he's only started one game with Aguero. I think that was towards the start of the season. And I don't think maybe that was when they were trying to figure out what to do with Jesus. But now, guess what? He's brilliant in the position that Aguero plays, right in front of goal. So I think they play the same position, basically. I'm sure you can pop either of them on the wing. You can do that with lots of strikers. But that quickly brings me on to Arsenal, which why they keep putting Lacazette on the right. So, for example, they put Lacazette as a striker when they do rarely start him. And also, this was something I was going to go into earlier, but I guess we can talk about it now. You buy a striker for £50 million. You hardly ever start him. You don't start him for the last 2 games against massive clubs. Who do they have? They had you.
No, not us. We're playing us. We're playing.
Oh, they haven't played you yet.
Next game.
I think they must have had United and Liverpool. I think. I'm pretty sure they had 2.
No, they played City.
They played. Oh, was it City? Yeah. Okay, maybe it was City and Liverpool then. I know they played two huge games, so their last games, and I don't have the games in front of me at the moment, but and I know that he didn't start either of them, and he's a player that has scored 6 goals for Arsenal, which is double any other player in Arsenal. And when they do play him, which they did against who did they just beat? Who did Arsenal just beat? Let's have a look.
Some shit team.
Probably. No, let's have a look. I know that they just
terrible team.
Oh no, wait! They just played City and they lost 3-1. When they put Arsenal, when they put the Lacazette started, I believe, and then when they put Giroud on later on into the game, what they did was they put Giroud. Well, I say this is what Wenger did. They pushed Giroud at the centre and got Lacazette to go on the right. It's like, why, like Lacazette is obviously going to get you goals. He can obviously score in the Premier League. He's scored more than anyone else has this season for your team, double. And they're just not starting him. They rarely start. They didn't start him for the last 2 big games. I'm sure it was Man City. It must have been Liverpool. I can't remember exactly, but yeah.
But I don't know. It just seems.
Play him.
Yeah, it seems like Wenger doesn't really know what he's doing with it.
Wenger doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Yeah, he's just playing. Like, why do you spend that much for a striker who you know is quality because he's played really well in League One, and you just don't play him. Or you put him on late, or when you do play him in the games that aren't huge, you then push him off to the side when you bring Giroud on. It's
if he plays, then he will get goals because.
But you should also play him in his position where he gets the goals.
But he's such a natural finisher. Like, if you see all the goals he's scored this season, all of them are just like...
Yeah, I used this term earlier. He's a smooth operator.
It was like similar to Jermaine Defoe. It's like when he kind of finds the back of the net, it's just so effortless.
Yeah, definitely.
He really is. He's just a born goal scorer. But I don't know. Fucking Wenger. He got him in, and now he just doesn't seem too hot on him.
Wenger, yeah. Well, anyways, Arsenal playing shit. I think he needs to. And the league table shows that. I think he obviously needs to try take a leap of faith with a lot of shit. He needs to actually try some stuff and maybe have a bit of faith. Start Lacazette every game. What's he gonna like? What's he worried about losing his job? He appears to be the unfireable manager. So.
Well, yeah. But next game, what will happen is next game because. It's at the Emirates, but we're playing them.
Do you think he'll start Lacazette?
I don't know if he will. I think
he should though.
He might do, but I think we'll beat them relatively comfortably anyway.
But I think if he starts Lacazette, they'll be in a better position. But will he start Lacazette? I doubt it. Look, you have a player that wanted to join. Like, you've got players like Sanchez and stuff who want to leave Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
You've got a player that's committed to them. You've paid £50 million. He wants to play for you. He's a top player. And you don't fucking play him. And then you play players that want to leave.
Yeah, because you can see from Sanchez's body language and stuff, he's not.
Well, and you know that obviously his agent was inquiring around because there was so much speculation regarding him, and there were offers, and they kept saying, "Oh, look, we don't want to sell him. We don't want to sell him." Obviously, there were offers, or there was at least, "Hey, let's talk about this player. Like, you want to do something?" And he wants to go. It's just kind of a known thing. We can't say for certain, but that's basically what people are assuming. and how just I don't know over the past 6 months, I guess how it's been with Sanchez in the club. Like sometimes he doesn't put all the effort in, but when he does, obviously he's absolutely brilliant. But look, you play players like that over a player that wants to play for you. What kind of
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not saying don't play Sanchez. Always play Sanchez. He's great, but I like Sanchez.
The thing is stubborn. But like, if he's going to make any kind of statement, he should have just fucking sold him and then actually given himself enough time to get in a replacement.
Yeah. Although, look, I mean, Sanchez is really great.
Just be like, look, like
if you want to go, you can go.
Make him rot, like train with the reserves until you sell him in January.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know?
I mean, I think obviously he's playing and stuff, but like. I mean, you just don't be putting Giroud on instead of like I said, like just don't do it. Giroud should now only be your backup weapon. He should be your Fellaini. He should be, well, even though Fellaini plays for United all the time now, but he should be the big man you bring on, even though he's not that big. Giroud is good in the last minutes. He's good in pressure games. He's good he's good in big games, and he can get goals with his head, and he can get goals in the cluster situation. He's good at that. I'll admit that. But you need to be playing Lacazette as your main striker, and you need to do that already because he has in the limited amount of time that he's had, he scored like more goals for Arsenal than anyone else has by double. So I think it kind of speaks for itself, right?
It does.
Anyways, so we'll move on. Sorry, well, that's a couple of things we want to talk about later, but so we covered that now. We'll just quickly go through some of the results and see what we think. So, alright, so first was Stoke City and Leicester drew to all. We looked at that. It was looked like a good game. It looked like Leicester should have won to me, but like Stoke came back, Shaqiri got a great goal and stuff, so we've been talking about Demarai Gray recently, haven't we? We really like him, so...
I do like him. I
think he's got a lot of talent.
He's very rough around the edges.
Do you think he'd do better in a different club? Or, I mean, he's getting a lot of play time now. Do you think he just stays at Leicester? Or is the problem that he then hangs around players that maybe aren't that brilliant?
Look, he's not good enough yet to start for a better club than Leicester in the league, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me.
If he moved on to a bigger team, then he's not going to get the game and he's not going to improve.
Yeah,
I think
like if he went to like an Everton, they wouldn't play him.
See how he goes in 2 seasons.
Yeah,
like see how he does from now until the end of the season, and then maybe in the summer someone will go in for him. But
true,
he's got a lot of talent.
He does, and he looks good. I like watching him. He's my favourite player to watch. For Leicester, that is.
He's frustrating as well though, because sometimes he doesn't show that.
Yeah, sometimes he doesn't appear.
He kind of reminds me of how Wilfred, even now actually, Wilfred Zaha.
Yeah,
he's kind of like
he's gotten over that a bit. Obviously,
he has that quality though.
He does have that
to
him.
He can be great, and he but he's very.
Yeah, he's got brilliant. He can be brilliant, but and in fact, he's gotten a lot better, hasn't he? And he's really stepped up. I think the past 18 months. Zaha, but
he has. But then this season, he's disappeared.
I don't know. I don't think he's doing what he used to do, which was you're right. He disappeared. I think he's involved now properly everywhere. I think he's good now. And he just needs time to play like that. I think, he needs a few more years of just playing with that confidence now and with the ability to properly interact with the entire team and don't just disappear, don't try and go solo sort of forward runs. He is. I think he's a really, 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 really good player for Crystal Palace to have, and they should basically keep playing him, which they are. So
he's their best player.
Yeah, I mean he's great, and he's a lot better than he was. So I mean you can only praise improvement, right? So
yeah.
Huddersfield beat West Brom 1-0. That was good.
Yeah, that's a feisty affair.
And so that was good. Moving on, Newcastle lost to Bournemouth 1-0.
Good header. Good header from Cook.
Oh yeah. Always like a bit of Bournemouth winning. That's always.
They were due.
In fact, we just watched that, didn't we?
They've been pretty shit.
Burnley beat Southampton away 1-0.
That's another one. That's a good one. And then next as well. So Brighton beat Swansea 1-0 away.
Yeah,
so these are two teams that people would have been tipping for like relegation.
I mean,
I know loads of people said that these two teams would be relegated,
including us. I think maybe like we said at least. One of them. You said
I might have had Brighton in it, but not Burnley.
You said Newcastle and Brighton.
I said Newcastle.
Yeah.
But remember, I did say that Burnley were going to be like, they were like my.
Yeah, true. I think I said. I can't remember.
What's the word? What did I say they were going to be? Surprise package.
Yeah, we'll go back. We'll go back to that episode at the end of the season, and we'll like put it in, and then we'll see. Yeah. I know that I think I said maybe I said Burnley will go down, even though I like Sean Dyche. Maybe I said that they were going to be like 17th, maybe.
Maybe you did say that.
Yeah, maybe I did. I said Newcastle wouldn't go down, and I think I said Huddersfield would go down, but look at them. So Huddersfield doing well. I think I said Huddersfield and a couple others. Maybe I did. The
thing is, though, like I think with the newly promoted teams, especially, they just need to make sure that one bad result doesn't turn into 2 to 3.
Might have said West Ham.
It's easy for
Not
that.
Sure.
I reckon West Ham. I hope so. Anyway.
Look, I mean, those predictions are silly, and because we don't know shit at the start of the season, and also we don't know shit anyway. So, but it's funny to predict because, like, then you're like, I got it, and then you feel like a king.
To chat shit and pretend that we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I like to pretend. Well, it makes me feel better. So
I like to pretend.
We fully dress up in football kits actually when we're doing this.
I dress like.
I'm in a Chelsea
Sam
kit.
Allardyce.
You're dressed as Sam Allardyce for some reason. I'm in a Chelsea kit. You're in the manager kit.
Sam Allardyce.
Are you in his like jogging outfit, like tracksuit, or are you like in like a suit?
It's like an arseless.
Like it's kind of forced.
Arseless jogging
arseless chaps, nice.
With big gold chains.
I mean,
you can see it because that's what I'm wearing.
And Adichie got the Gucci. Okay, I like it. All right, well, let's continue. Liverpool beat West Ham United away 4-1.
Again,
I mean, a prime example of like West Ham is shit, but they still managed to get a goal. Liverpool scored loads. For all their forwards basically scored. Great, good for them. Good goals. Liverpool look good attacking. West Ham look shit defending.
Well, I'm sure they'll be all good with David Moyes steadying the ship now.
Yeah, well, we'll talk. I mean, we can talk about that now. We're going to talk about it at the end, but let's quickly jump to that before we go to the other results.
Let's talk about that.
So obviously, Slaven Bilic got sacked after this game. It was potentially coming for a while. We didn't really talk about that because during that whole process, we didn't have the pod on those few weeks. But yeah, I mean, like it was pretty obvious. I think he was going to get let go a few games ago. I say that now, as you say, but like, I mean, I did not think he would last the season. I guess I'll put it that way. I did not think that the manager of West Ham at this rate would last the season.
Look, they didn't start
very well.
I
think he's a decent manager. I think he is a decent manager. He did have a really, really good season and a half with them when he joined.
That was the problem though, and that's what everyone said, is that he kind of maybe set the bar a little bit too high for himself.
Yeah, maybe,
You know, and they've got some decent players.
He's an ex-player manager.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they've got some decent players. They just look shit. Like,
yeah,
they're not a difficult team to play against.
No. No, not at all. No, and they just like we said, their best players Lacazette. But even then.
But did you hit Lacazette? That's Arsenal.
No, not Lacazette. Sorry.
Lanzini.
Lanzini.
He's a great player. Yeah, I really rate him. He's awesome.
Yeah.
But now, like,
Lacazette. What the hell?
But apparently, David Moyes, if you can believe the what was said or whatever. Apparently he was like the 4th or 5th choice on the list of managers they wanted to take over. So, I mean, he's only got a contract till the end of the season, apparently. So it sounds like they couldn't get any of their top targets.
Well, who's going to go... Look, the problem with... It's the same with transfers in January. How the fuck do you get people mid-season? You can only get other people that are crashing out.
The thing is, though, there are a few... there are a few managers that
but Ancelotti was number one.
Ancelotti, Diego's... Is it Simeone or Simone?
Well, he's with Atletico, and it's the middle of the season, and they're doing well, and he's done well with them. So he's not a free manager. Carlos Ancelotti is.
What's his name? Tuchel.
Yeah. But once again, he is also managing though.
No, he's free. He doesn't manage. I
thought he was with the Leipzig. Oh no, he was Dortmund, right? I can't remember. Okay, well Tuchel. Let's just say Tuchel anyway. I mean, but every name we've said, I think is above grade for West Ham.
I know, if they're like... I don't know, like if they want to be good, then I mean they've got the money. They should just like go.
Yeah, but how do they attract these managers if managers know they're fucking?
Give them a massive wage. Say in the summer we'll give you all the money you can to spend.
Just help us, please. We want to blow the bubbles. Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right, okay. Moving on to the games that occurred on Sunday. Those were the Saturday, 4th November. Sunday the 5th. Spurs beat Palace 1-0 at home.
Yes. Well, we weren't at home. We're at Wembley. It's as good as
yeah, you keep saying that. Good match. You said Palace were a pain in the arse.
Yeah, Palace. Because the first few games I watched Palace, and they're absolutely awful. They're so bad. But against
they played well against us, and then.
Well, I got up and I watched our game, and they looked organised. They looked organised, and they looked really up for it. That was probably the worst I think that we
probably
played
stepped
all
into
season.
it, not realising maybe like that they were going to.
I don't know. Like it came off the back of obviously the Madrid game, so maybe there was like slight bit of fatigue or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. Like it, I'm really happy because we didn't play well, but we got the result. We kind of grinded it out. And got that, the ugly win.
Yeah. Which we always talked about in previous episodes, and I definitely mention all the time. Like, if you want to win the league, you got to win the games that you maybe you don't play the best in, but you still win.
I mean, like, look, I'm not saying
those are the games that win you the league.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm not saying that. We've done it. No. Now, whenever we play shit, we're going to win. Like, whenever we have a shit game, we're still going to win. Like. Yeah. It doesn't work like that.
But if you do that for the rest of the season, then you got.
But a result like that, really a result like that gives you confidence, and it should hopefully give the team confidence and be like, look, we're not having the best game, but keep your head up, plug away, and you'll get your rewards if you try hard enough. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so hopefully on the days where we maybe don't turn up and we're not as good, we'll grind out a few more results this season.
I think
that's what we were missing.
But those are the kind of things. And let's say you don't win the league, whatever. But if you come out on this season, next season you're in Champions League again. You could go compete for all the cups. Maybe reinforce for the squad. You at least will be able to say, hopefully, look, we got way better at those difficult grinding out games, and you just get better at it. And then honestly, that might be enough at that point to seriously like. Top challenge for the title. Yeah, I mean, look, like at not that you guys aren't challenging, because you definitely are. But like to be on a level where like City is, and where like United is, and where like Chelsea is kind of now. Like obviously we've got a bit of a problem at the moment. I don't know. We'll see. All I can say is at this point in the season, where we are, I'm really happy with just like how we're playing. Yeah. The fact as well that. Like Danny Rose has just started coming back, which is good to get him back. So why is he back in the squad? A few weeks. Oh no, he started against Palace. Oh. He came on off the bench against Real Madrid, which was good. Got a little bit of, I think we got, I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes, last 20 minutes. But no, it's good. So he's coming back. Hopefully we'll have like Wanyama back before Christmas. Maybe if we get lucky, we'll get Lamela back before Christmas as well. Were you guys even playing Lamela that much? When he was fit, he was first. He's that Argentinian guy that was kind of a semi-prodigy, but like not as well. He was like every technically gifted Argentinian. They're like he's the next Lionel Messi. Yeah. Oh god, one of those. Yeah. But I mean, he was okay, wasn't he? He just. Oh no, Lamela is Pochettino's like luxury player. Kind of he's like his kind of player who fucking loves him. Because the thing is with Lamela. Is it doesn't matter if he's like maybe not having a good game, he chases every ball. He does all the running. He gets fucking stuck in. That makes sense. And, he's got the bit of quality to play that pass that's going to get the goal. And occasionally like will take his chance as well. We have been missing him because we didn't. We've only got Son to really bring on dynamically for the midfield. I don't know. It depends who we start with. I mean, you wouldn't start Lamela, would you? He's more of a bench. I mean, you start him when you're rotating the squad, but in your first 11, he'd probably be on the bench, right? Before he was injured, he was starting before Son, and Ali wasn't
in as prominent.
So he's going to be competing with Son to come off the bench, but both of them are kind of different players. I know that from watching them.
They are both different players. It's difficult to say.
You've got room for them. They would be your two midfielders on your bench. Why they can both be on your bench. They will be both. And then who gets kicked off? Winks.
No, it depends. It depends on the form, because if Lamela comes back from injury and he starts playing really well, and then he will start if
if someone was playing really well, they would start.
But the form will dictate
Poch's definitely. Choice. But I think there's a big obviously.
But if you're asking me if there's
who's getting kicked off the bench, basically, who's getting kicked out of the main squad because he's going to come back into the bench. Is it Harry Winks that gets off the bench then?
Well, no, because Harry Winks has been starting games. Person we kick off the bench probably be Nkadu, because he's just shit.
Oh, okay. So what position does he even play?
He's kind of like a winger, but we don't play him very often.
I don't remember even seen him. Oh, I think I've seen him once.
We've got plenty of positions on the bench.
Okay. Get him off then. Okay, I thought you'd only have two for kind of rotating main midfielders.
No, the only
and maybe you'd put Lamela and Son on the bench.
The only question with Lamela, because basically after Kane, obviously he's up front, but then you've got Lamela's attacking midfield, Eriksen, Ali, and Son. We wouldn't start all of them in the same game, so one of them would have to make way for another, essentially. And then that all depends about formation as well, because if we're playing four at the back, which we haven't really been this season, we've kind of been playing with
it's kind of it's difficult to it's kind of it changes though, how they play depending. Sometimes it reverts a little bit. It's the same with a lot of teams.
I mean, look, it's
a loose formation. The game adapts, but that's your standard.
We've got a good problem to have if Wanyama's fit again, and Lamela's fit again.
You've got too many good players,
and then we're looking at basically how are we going to fit in. At one point, it was
you should just give up. Try and convince Tottenham to leave the league. I'll be fine with that.
When we first got Wanyama...
You don't need to have this problem, Mike. I've got an answer for you. Sign this.
When Wanyama first came to us, we were
he was naked, covered in blood, screaming.
Yeah.
You were like, get that man a football.
Yeah, he was brilliant. But we were how are we going to put Wanyama, Dembele and Dyer all in the same team? It wasn't going to happen. And then we started playing three at the back. And Dyer was playing in the back, and then we had Dembele and Wanyama in midfield and everything. So we accommodated. I'm not sure how we're going to do that now, because when Wanyama's fit, we've got fucking Dembele, Dyer, Wanyama, and also Winks.
That's what I'm saying. Someone surely has to go to the bench or get off the bench. Do you know what I mean? You've got
no one's getting dropped from the squad or whatever.
Not gone forever, but
it will strengthen our bench.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You're this is just a good problem to have. What I'm saying is, I was wondering who you thought would get pushed off the bench, because someone will, and you're thinking it's that guy, I can't say his name.
Nkadu. I'd have Lamela back on the bench over Nkadu. Kudu.
And Winks would potentially go as well, right? He's surely the next.
Winks has done so much this season. He's not moving. We probably put. Who else?
You couldn't get rid of Son. He's too good.
Sissoko, Sissoko probably.
Oh, okay. So yeah, fair enough. So you picked Sissoko over.
But we've actually got we've got a touch wood. We don't get any more fucking injuries. It looks like our squad is able to kind of cope.
Yeah, they're fit.
It's going to be difficult over Christmas, because that's when that really tests your fucking bottle. Because if we've got, you've got fucking FA Cup games, Premier League games, and then obviously if you've got any other kind of Champions League games just before Christmas, it's difficult. There's a lot of fixtures, but I think we've got a pretty good squad, pretty decent.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you said, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I'm happy to have that problem.
Yes. All right. Well, moving on. That was a good little summary on Spurs at the moment. So City beat Arsenal 3-1. Good, great result. Good. City pretty trumped them pretty much. Lacazette scored that goal, right?
Yes.
After he came on or whatever, or did he start? I can't remember. I think he started. No,
I don't think he did start.
He didn't start. That was the game. That's the game. This game he did not start. Then Chelsea beat Man United 1-0 at home. Yep, good. We played better than them. They played okay. They played average. they weren't either way. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they would have beat like a lesser team, but like not a top 10 team. They would have definitely beat. Like, you know, they were playing okay. Like they were dangerous. They could have scored a few times, but we were better overall throughout the entire match. I know Jose was saying that his team was better in the last 15 minutes. Disagree. Like they picked up the pace a bit because they were panic. You know, the tension gets like towards the end of the match. Like the team that's behind,
throwing the ball forward.
Yeah, things change.
Yeah.
That wasn't more pressure. Like we still had chances, and to be honest, we could have more. And it comes down to a lot of problem that we have. There's a minor problem we have, and we've had for a long time, is we just don't get enough. We don't finish enough goals, even though we've got amazing players. It just doesn't happen for us. It's just whatever reason. That's obviously hopefully being looked into by the manager and stuff. But hey, look, it was a great performance. 1-0 is still a win. And we looked really great after our previous awful performance. And but the problem's still there. And I guess I'll quickly just touch on it. Like the problem, as probably anyone listening to this would know if they watch Chelsea, or you know, are aware of football news and stuff, is that like sometimes our defence just falls apart, and it causes like our spine to basically shatter. And especially if we don't have Kante or Bakayoko in a defensive midfield position. Especially so because what happened in the previous game was Kante wasn't there at all. Like he was injured, I believe, or he wasn't. Something like that. He wasn't playing. And then David Luiz, who's normally he's been absolutely brilliant since he came back. Did a disaster of defending. Cahill did nothing. Wasn't the leader he's supposed to be. Azpilicueta, our best player, wasn't even playing either. He was injured. We were set up in a bad position, and what it meant was that our flaw was highlighted, because the problem that we've got around that defence there, what's going on, there was a big light shone on it, and it was even more obvious. And and that's when we just did not look good. So. This was a great turnaround, but we've still got a problem defensively. We talked about it briefly before, I believe via text or something, and in person. But Cahill's been like a warrior for Chelsea. He's been brilliant. I love Cahill in lots of ways, but he's also been a defender I've wanted to replace for a long time. Even when Terry was around, it was like, look, I know Terry's going, we've got to replace him, but we need another defender. And you know what? This is part of the whole Conte not getting any of his transfers over the last 4 transfer periods, not getting a single one, including every time he had a top. He had the same defender twice. He had a different defender. Like he was going after top Italian and I think French defenders. Our board didn't get any of them. Now you're telling me over 2 years they can't get, and after that, all of his other targets, they couldn't get any of them. Morata wasn't one of his targets. Like he thought a good transfer because we couldn't get whoever he wanted. That's not good news, and it sucks for Conte, because if he ends up not being in the top 4, and if he ends up getting kicked out of the group of the Champions League, I see him getting sacked.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even if he finishes in the top 4, if he gets kicked out of the group stage, I still get him to the same bit. I still see him being sacked. The only thing, if we won the league, and we get kicked out of the group stages, I could see him staying potentially. That's the only thing that would save him. And I don't know what our chances are winning the league at the moment, because we've got a problem, and Man City look unstoppable at the moment. Yeah. But we're only 11 games in. You know what Christmas does to clubs. But yeah, there's definitely a problem. I think either Cahill either needs to step up, or we need to somehow, I don't want to just replace him like that, because he would actually probably help whatever major defender we got in. David Luiz was not played this game. He wasn't even on the bench. And when Conte was asked about it, he said he's got to play better.
Really?
Now, he straight up pulled him out because of his last performance. He pulled him out. Even though he's played really, really well for us, Conte straight up pulled him out. He's in with the reserves.
Fuck, that's mental.
I mean, Conte is not taking any shit. Apparently, as well, after that game, there was a huge thing. Conte went away and analysed everything, went back. As all the players were there, there were loads of sources that confirmed this a lot over the papers and stuff. He did all the footage. He called out every player that fucked up one by one. He went through the entire squad.
Game?
Huh?
For the Roma game?
Yes, it's for the Roma game. And then also, yes, it was for the Roma game, yeah. Called out every single player. So that was playing playing badly and stuff. He full on and then went look, this can't be happening. This is not Chelsea, blah, blah, blah. Conte has won the league with a team that was falling apart, that was handed over to him by Jose imploding. And he managed to take that imploding team that was playing shit, and without any signings that he wanted, still got a couple of signings in, but none of his targets, went on and won the league. Then after he won the league, load more signings that he wanted. Didn't get any of the signings he wanted. None of them. None. They got a few signings. They got a good one now. They got Morata. Great. We got Bakayoko. We got some good signs, but none of his first choice signings, I believe. I don't know. I know some, like, maybe Bakayoko was, like, he thinks he's a good player. Like, he probably said, oh yeah, cool. Like, when a good player is available, you think, and you can't get your first choice, great. Now, he likely, I bet, will not get any of his transfers this coming January window either, because it's hard to sign in January, and also I don't see the board necessarily changing. What the board has done is said, well, we were going to maybe get players after we were imploding, but you managed to win the league again with these players, and with basically hardly any changes. Sweet, keep winning the league with these players then. Even though it's like he was handed a broken machine, he managed to tape it up a bit. And don't get me wrong, it's a really brilliant machine, but it's got problems. He managed to tape it up enough that it lasted a season. It's now starting another season, it's starting to come apart. And he's trying to do his best. They're still not ordering the correct tools for him.
But wasn't like one of the big things was all of the players that he wanted are like older players that don't have any resale value.
Not all of the players. I know the defender, one of the defenders he was after at one point. There was another striker he was after that was young. There have been young defenders. I think there are a few of his top signings, correct, over the periods have been like 28, 29, 30-year-olds, because he definitely looks for performance, not for he plays you on your form. You know what I mean? So he doesn't give a shit if they're 30. If they're great, he's going to play them.
Yeah.
And yes, correct. The club probably has issue with that. I've got a problem with the board, because I think Conte has done a marvellous job, and I absolutely love him, and I don't think he should be sacked at all. And I think Conte is a brilliant manager. I think he's really, really great, and he definitely cares a lot, and he talks a lot of sense, and he doesn't take any shit. But also, there's no drama with him. I think all round, he's one of my favourite managers that. Obviously he's our manager, so I would think that. But, I spend a lot of time looking at what he says, listen to what he says. I've spent a lot of time looking at what he's done. I almost feel like he's been hard done over by our board, and that's who I'm angry at. We've got a brilliant option. What are they going to do? I'll sack him. We'll get Ancelotti in again. Like, they could seriously do that, and that would be really, depressing. Like that would be sad. Because Conte is a brilliant manager. And, yeah. But anyways, look... We played better than Manchester United all round. We did, definitively. In fact, we did. So we deserved to win. Yeah, it was a good game. Would like more goals. And then the last game was Everton beating Watford 3-2 at home. Which, it looked like I'm a fan of Watford now because I like a lot of their players, but.
Yeah, me too.
We were watching the highlights of that one. I didn't watch the full game or anything. But Everton came back. So, and also Watford missed a penalty at the end to draw it, which it was a shocking penalty. Oh my! It was the captain as well. I don't know his name.
Cleverly.
Oh, that's it. And yeah, man, awful. And Everton, obviously, their penalty they got, which helped them get to 3, was a penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, it was
Yeah, they were both penalties, but just Watford didn't score this. Watford should not have lost because you're right. We were talking. Everton's defense is just like it's like putting a hot knife through fucking butter. It's just. But obviously, they do have high quality players.
Look, if they can get, I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll stick with Unsworth or whatever for a bit. But if you can get them playing to some kind of coherent,
definitely. I think they've definitely got potential. It's Everton. They've got good players, and G, what's his name? The guy they brought back from Hull.
Niaz.
Nian. I thought it was also
Niaz.
Niaz. Right, whatever it is. He's been actually really great. Like he scored a load of goals for them, but even in that match, it looked like he was really he was involved in everything.
Look, the thing with
that
him,
brings a new dynamic.
The thing with him is like he's a striker.
Yeah.
So his movement is good. He brings kind of pulls defenders around
which
a bit, which then creates space for the other attacking players.
Like if you have players like Morales and stuff, like they can then score, right? If you peel defenders off players like Morales and I don't know who else they've got in attacking midfield, but
Klassen.
Yeah, and Sigurdsson, like those kind of players then could maybe put a ball in, properly, like that's it, or score, if certain defenders are peeled off.
Yeah, I think like they'll find their feet, they'll do enough.
They will. They will
because they've kind of got too much quality on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Watford have been really impressive so far this season.
Yeah,
and their away record's been really good as well. So
yeah, Watford are good. I like them. I've got a lot of gas in the tank. I like them. And then so just quickly, I'll just quickly round off the games next week, and then we'll just highlight any ones that probably be interesting. Arsenal, Tottenham, Bournemouth, Huddersfield, Burnley, Swansea, Crystal Palace, Everton, Leicester, Man City, Liverpool, Southampton, West Brom, Chelsea, Man United, and Newcastle. I mean, obviously the first one there is Arsenal, Tottenham at
first derby, Emirates.
At the Emirates at home. So that'll be good. Looking forward to that. That's on Saturday the 18th.
Like I said to you before, I'm
going to watch that.
For the past the past 2 seasons, I've really...
Confident.
I always look forward to playing against Arsenal, because those are like the games, like the most important games of the season. But past 2 seasons, I felt really confident every time we played.
Well, yeah, I mean you've been beating them, right?
Yeah.
I think you drew. I remember you drawing once or something, but you beat them otherwise.
Yeah, we beat them the last derby at White Hart Lane, which was good. But now I reckon I'm pretty confident. I reckon 3-0 Tottenham.
Wow, you don't think Lacazette will get a goal, or Drew will do a last minute header?
I mean, I could see it.
I would say a 2-1. 2-1 to Arsenal. No, I'm kidding.
I just think.
I don't see that many goals.
I just think like we enjoy those occasions more than Arsenal players do. It seems.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like us playing and getting those kind of, those games is like we kind of show up for it. Whereas now, kind of Arsenal, I don't know. Like
yeah.
I just think like if we play like we can, and Arsenal play like they can, there's only one winner. It's Tottenham. The only way that Arsenal would beat us is if we just had a shocker of a game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and we're just so consistent these days. Like we're really consistent, so I can't see anything but.
Yeah, what's your form? Your form is like lose, win, 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 right? Last 5.
Yeah, we lost the United game, but apart from that, we've been pretty good.
And that game's on for us in New Zealand, 1:30 in the morning. It's Monday morning, 1:30.
Sunday, 1:30.
Oh, is it Sunday morning? Oh, it is Sunday morning. You're absolutely right. Sorry, pardon me. So it's Sunday morning.
I hope so, because I'm off Sunday, working Monday.
Brilliant. So you get to watch it.
Fuck yeah. Well, I would have watched it regardless.
Yeah. I'm totally going to watch it as well.
I've not missed one Premier League game this season.
I'll probably stay up and watch the Chelsea game. I've missed some of our. I missed the first couple Champions League games for Chelsea, and I've missed probably 2 Premier League games. I've probably missed about 4 games in total.
There's only 2 games this season that I haven't watched.
Maybe
those were both of the Carabao Cup ones.
Yeah, sorry, and that's like the FA Cup, or whatever the Carabao Cup. Sorry,
fucking League Cup.
That League Cup, Carabao. They're our sponsor as well, Carabao. Carabao Cup, the League Cup. I didn't watch that one either, but I listened to it on live radio through the internet, so I kind of watched it because I couldn't find feet.
You're still there.
So. But yeah, so that would be a good time. Sorry, so we're obviously in New Zealand, so times are funny. What else? I think Leicester City, Man City. I'm going to enjoy that game, but it's on the same time as same time as Chelsea. So I might watch them instead. We're beating West Brom, and United at Newcastle. Boring. Southampton playing Liverpool. Liverpool's at home. That'd be good, I think. But I think actually, I think the games that I'm most interested are the Arsenal, Tottenham, Leicester City, and Manchester City, that is, and West Brom, Chelsea, obviously. I think the Leicester City game's pretty interesting.
If Leicester could provide an upset, it'd be fucking brilliant.
It'd be great if Arsenal beat you in the sense of points. So but Arsenal are the one team that I can't say I want them to beat you. Like I would say anyone else, because they'd be holding you up, which would be great. I suppose not City, because they're far ahead. But anyone else, I'd be like, yes, beat Tottenham. But it's difficult, man, because like I really want Arsenal to get stamped into the mud and just go away.
Yeah, me.
Sorry, Arsenal fans. I just really don't want you to have like the pleasure of watching Premier League anymore.
I just don't want you to be happy.
No.
Ever.
No.
Fuck.
If you change your colour to like pink or like yellow or purple or something, I don't know. What's it like? What is it? Yerple. That's it. Sorry, where you combine like yellow and purple, and it's like horrible. Yeah. So okay, that's all the games. Sorry, I did miss 2. Watford, West Ham, and Brighton and Stoke. Pretty boring. I mean, boring in the sense that we'll watch maybe watch the highlights. Unless the game's really good, watch those games.
Both of those have draws.
We'll see. They might be on. To be honest, they're on the next day. Actually, I might just have them on and watch them. I probably will actually. Looking at the times, but yeah. All right. Well, that covers most things. Did we talk about David Moyes? We did, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've covered those.
Yeah, we've covered pretty much everything we wanted to talk about as we were going, which is nice. Yeah, and I guess just the table quickly. It's just pretty interesting. Obviously, City first with 31 points, followed by United with 23, followed by Tottenham with 23. They're ahead, obviously, due to goal difference. United's been 18 and yours been 13. We're at 22 points. We're 1 point behind. Our goal difference is lower than both yours, though. It's only 4. That's why Arsenal and Burnley are also on 19 points, same as Chelsea. But sorry, not same as Chelsea. Liverpool. But Liverpool, that makes Liverpool 5th due to their goal difference being higher than Arsenal and Burnley. But yeah, so City, United, Spurs, Chelsea, then Liverpool, then Arsenal. It's shaping up pretty interesting, you know? Like, we're only 11 games in, but maybe I would like, besides us moving to the first position and winning the league, which will eventually happen, besides that, I'm pretty happy with how the league is forming, because I like seeing, why wouldn't you I like seeing Watford 9th. I like seeing Brighton 8th. I want that. I want Burnley to be 7th and Arsenal to be 8th. Like, especially with Watford and teams like Watford and Brighton, who I really like, and it's good, man. And it's a nice thing to look at.
It'll be interesting to see after Christmas. We'll tell.
Yeah.
Like what it looks like after Christmas is really going to.
Yeah, that completely tells it, because our teams fall off. What happens if Arsenal are actually shit up to Christmas? They're normally okay, and then they fall off. Maybe if they still fall off now and they go all the way to the bottom. Maybe this is finally it.
God, if they got relegated,
someone's answered our prayers, Mike.
I'd die happy.
I'd definitely start going to church. There'd have to be a god.
Yeah. I would. Yeah,
I'd turn religious. No, I mean I think I am a little bit religious, but I go super religious or something. But if
that got Arsenal relegated, I'd do anything.
I'd be like, thank you, Jesus.
That'd be brilliant.
So just quickly, relegation. Still Palace at the bottom with 4. Then Swansea City with 8th in 19th place, and in 18th place it's West Ham United with 9 points. I think Palace with 4 points is still pretty hilarious. Yeah,
I mean they should, like I say, the way they played against us, if they continue like that, they should start to pick up some points.
They beat us, that's where they got 3 points.
Mental,
mate. Alright, well, I guess that's everything. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We'll be back hopefully next week. Look forward to episode 8 next week. If you want to contact us, you can email us at 2poms1pod@gmail.com, or go to our Facebook page, 2Poms One Pod Football Podcast, or you can just Google 2Poms One Pod Football. I'm sure either that or our little audio player will pop up. So you can actually listen to the podcast from our audio website, which if you just Google it, it'll come up with the first link. Or go through our Facebook, because they're also placed there and you can listen to them via Facebook. Cool, I think that's everything. Oh, and they're also on YouTube. Yes, I'll cover everything off. Cool, sweet.
Legs cunts.